What's going on, guys? It's fight season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about why Tom Aspinall will become the UFC heavyweight GOAT. Tom Aspinall is one of the best and most skilled UFC heavyweights of all time, and I truly do think that he has all these skills and everything in that arsenal to become the UFC heavyweight GOAT, the best fighter ever to fight in the UFC heavyweight division. Right now, I think our GOATs are either Stipe Miocic or Daniel Cormier. We also have some other guys up there like John Jones and other guys farther and farther back, but I do think that Tom Aspinall will have the opportunity to beat them all for a couple different factors. So in this video, we are going to run down those factors, why I believe Tom Aspinall is going to be such a dangerous weapon inside this UFC heavyweight division, and of why I genuinely think that he is going to become the best heavyweight to ever walk on the face of planet Earth. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way that you can come out and show support for the channel. Also, if you guys want to request video ideas down in the description, please go do that. And if you already haven't checked out my videos that I've posted this week, that would be amazing. Talking about the UFC White House card and talking about Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video talking about why Tom Aspinall will become the UFC heavyweight GOAT. So, Tom Aspinall is going to be fighting Ciryl Gane on UFC 321, I believe, which is in October of 2025. And this is going to be a very, very, very big fight for Tom Aspinall. This will be his second title defense of his belt. The first one was of the interim title, that being against Curtis Razor Blades at UFC 304, I believe, when that was in Manchester, United Kingdom, where he slept Curtis Blades in about 1 minute flat. Tom Aspinall is so skilled. He has every single thing that you want in an absolutely demonized heavyweight champion or UFC champion in general. Now, I kind of want to talk about why I believe Tom Aspinall is going to be able to run through this UFC heavyweight division. I want to start about the one caveat that is coming out at this point. The UFC heavyweight division is at its lowest point that it's probably ever been in UFC history, and that is just talking about the overall division. I do think that Tom Aspinall is one of the most skilled fighters in UFC heavyweight history, but right now, as a whole, we don't got that many true contenders. I think the best fighter currently at heavyweight besides Tom Aspinall is Alexander Volkov, but Tom Aspinall has already beat him. I do think that Volkov beat Ciryl Gane when they faced off at UFC 311 or 312 or whatever that number card was back in last December. It was a very close decision, and a decision that I thought Volkov got robbed of. But I do think that Alexander Volkov is the toughest challenger inside the UFC for Tom Aspinall, and he's already beat Volkov. Then you got someone like Ciryl Gane, who's a great striker, don't get me wrong, but he isn't exactly the most. He isn't the best grappler out there. Apparently, there's training footage of him getting taken down and really controlled by Nasruddin Imavov, who is a middleweight, compared to Ciryl Gane being a heavyweight, so almost having 100 pounds at fighting weight on Mr. Imavov. And then you got other bigger fighters inside that division. You got Curtis Blades, who is a very good wrestler. Tom Aspinall has beat him, knocked him out in a minute. Jailton Almeida, great grappler, can't strike with Tom Aspinall. Sergey Spivak, Aspinall beat him. Derek Lewis would get killed. Tai Tuivasa is a blob at this point. I mean, we don't got too many guys inside the top of the UFC heavyweight division who really can. Now, obviously, we have guys like Waldo Acosta Cortez, but he's fighting Sergey Pavlovich coming up here at UFC Shanghai, and if he wins that belt, wins that fight, he's gonna be in a very, very good spot to get a title shot from Mr. Aspinall himself, because he hasn't fought him. It's been a very interesting time, and Cortez Acosta is definitely on his way up to being able to reach a title, but got guys like Taliesin Teixeira, who we thought could possibly challenge for the title one day, just got knocked out by Derek Lewis, just some kind of things like that. But I don't think the overall stand in the layout of the field of the heavyweight division is that great. But now what is great is Tom Aspinall himself. Tom Aspinall is one of the best, most well-rounded fighters inside the UFC. He is genuinely such a good all-around fighter within the organization. He's got grappling, he's got striking, and he's got amazing defense. He holds his chin up there a little bit high, but he does have an amazing iron chin. And I just want to start off with the grappling, because this is something that not a lot of people would think about with Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall has a lot of knockouts inside the UFC, but his original background from when he started mixed martial arts was in jiu-jitsu, and I do think that that gives him a really full background to go out there and really be able to hold his own and not hold or be on his back on the ground. Tom Aspinall inside the UFC has the lowest fight time on his back within a fight. Do you want to know how long that was? 1 second. He has never been on the ground in his entire UFC career for more than 1 second. And I don't even know what fight that was in. I just saw that stat the other day that Tom Aspinall has only been on his back for 1 second. And that just shows his 1, strength, 2, his jiu-jitsu ability, and 3, his knowledge to not even prepare to get there. Now, I do think that Aspinall does have some slick submissions that he got on him. He choked out Andrei Arlovski, I believe, and he submitted Alexander Volkov with that weird arm lock thing on the ground, which was an incredible win for Aspinall. But I do think the more dangerous thing that Tom Aspinall possesses is that striking. Tom Aspinall is not afraid to strike with any of the best strikers inside the heavyweight division, namely Sergey Pavlovich, when that fight lasted 1 minute and 7 seconds as the co-main event of UFC 295 in New York City, New York. And that was an absolutely crazy right hand that Tom Aspinall landed. 1 punch, knocked him down, finished with the hammer fist, winning the interim title. Do think he's going to do the same thing with Ciryl Gane. Obviously, the easy path to win for Mr. Aspinall would be able to go in there and just spear Ciryl Gane right to the ground, take him down, submit him instantly, and I think he could get this win in under a round. But I do think that Tom Aspinall could also knock out Ciryl Gane. I think he has more power than Ciryl. I think he's faster than Ciryl. He probably doesn't have better footwork, but I do think he's going to be able to go in there and take this fight and ultimately win it. Also, his defense, like I was kind of saying, he kind of puts himself in the fire at points, but he's also very safe and responsible. You look at that Sergey Pavlovich fight, he got hit with 1 really big overhand by Pavlovich, and he was able to kind of stay back and kind of really watch what he needed to do in order to go out there and really preserve himself for the future part of that round, ending up knocking out Pavlovich himself. But let's look at the total. How does Tom Aspinall put all of this together, even though he has the skills, with a very, very, very weak heavyweight division? The one thing that he's got to do is be like Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse had an unreal number of title defenses. I'm not 100% sure of how many. I believe it was like 11 or 12 or some number like that. Tom Aspinall, to become the heavyweight GOAT, which I want to make preference real quick, isn't that big of a standard. I do think he has to go out there and get about 5, 6, or 7 title defenses against some crazy competition. Now, I think that this fight against Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall is going to win and win pretty handily. But after that, we don't got too many people out there that he could possibly fight. I do think that his next match is going to be against the winner of Jailton Almeida and Alexander Volkov. Volkov deserves a title shot over Ciryl Gane at this point, even though he lost that fight. And I do think that Jailton Almeida is a very, very worthy opponent, especially this fight going down on the exact same card as Aspinall. I do think that, like I said, I do think that Waldo Cortez Acosta could get a title shot with a win over Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich could position himself nicely with a fight over Ciryl Gane if he does lose, or the loser of that. I genuinely do think that Tom Aspinall is going to be able to run this division rampant. The only guys I could see truly beating him would be someone like Sergey Pavlovich, just for the fact that he hits so unbelievably hard. I don't see any guy out there out techniquing Aspinall, out grappling Aspinall. The only guys who I could truly see would be someone like Sergey Pavlovich, just because he hits like an absolute tank. And that is genuinely all I could say. Even though Volkov is more technical, I do think that that power, if Aspinall's not careful, if he's fighting fire with fire, I do think that that could possibly lose him that fight. But overall, Tom Aspinall is one of the most decorated UFC heavyweight fighters of all time at this point, and I genuinely think that he has such a massive road ahead of him to become one of the UFC's best heavyweights of all time. Like I said, he's just got to keep beating these guys, whether it is Ciryl Gane this first one, a rematch with Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich with the rematch, Alexander Volkov with the rematch, Jailton Almeida fight, Waldo Cortez Acosta, any of these fights. I do think that Tom Aspinall can win, and he's just got to keep stacking them up to become the UFC heavyweight champion. But genuinely, Tom Aspinall's skill is unmatched. He is such a good fighter, and genuinely one of the most skilled fighters in the UFC right now, even though he's in the heavyweight division. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below in the comment section, talking about Tom Aspinall and him possibly becoming the UFC GOAT. I do think that he has all the skills in the world to become the GOAT, and fighters like Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic have a great resume at heavyweight, yes, but it's not something that's insurmountable to pass up. You look at Georges St. Pierre's record at welterweight. I don't think anyone's passing him up anytime soon, even though we got some of the most skilled welterweights ever right now. And genuinely, I think that Tom Aspinall is going to be able to run this division. He's probably going to be the most dominant champion out there besides Alexandre Pantoja, and genuinely be able to show all these heavyweights that there are skills and levels to this for a reason. Tom Aspinall is that good. He is genuinely a fighter's fighter, and I think he's going to go out there and, like I said, run rampant in the heavyweight division. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you guys want to drop a comment down below and tell me what you guys want to see next, that would be absolutely appreciated. Let me know what you think about the videos coming back soon. I love making content for you guys, and it's absolutely amazing to be back kind of making daily content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.